All right, so first things first, you got to get the fuel out of the bike. If it's bad, you got to take it out. If you don't have a fancy, fuel pump, you got to drain it manually. This top hose is going to be where the fuel is going to come out. The bottom, you have to put vacuum to. Put some suction to it, and it'll come out the top hose. Obviously, put it in a bucket. There's two 8mm bolts on the back side of the intake flange. You have to take them out. You don't really need a flexi socket thing like I got there. You can take the seat bucket out and take them out, but it's a bit more of a pain in the butt. And I don't think you can see them too well. Here you go. Flashlight action. You've got a plastic intake spacer in between as well. The front side, the air box has two 8mm nuts as well. On the bottom, just pull those right out. And you can remove everything as a unit. The carb does not have to come off of the intake box. This is the same for the roughhouse and the buddy. Now wiggle it and jiggle it. You got this thing here that I just showed you is going to be the choke cap. You have to pull that off to get a little more length in the wires, and boom, there's the carb. Two Phillips head screws in the bottom side come out. It's going to be about an ounce of fuel that comes out of there. Whoa, well, 1 second here. If this is leaking, that means that fuel tap, the vacuum fuel tap that I was telling you to put suction to earlier, has failed. It's not a huge issue. It's pretty common. You really should replace it, but for now, put a screwdriver underneath it. Go get your vice grips, clamp those on the fuel line, the top hose on that vacuum fuel stop, and then boom, no more fuel. From here, I got the bowl. A lot of splits in the bottom. This gas is pretty clean, but you do want to kind of get that pretty good and spotless. The jet that's up a little bit farther, it's a flathead tip. You want to pull that out. This is the most important. Main jets pretty much never clog. I mean, if you've got swamp water in there, you're gonna want to do a little bit more of a carb clean than this. That's pilot jet. Get yourself some carb clean. You'll see it here in a second. Come up on video. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, there you go. So, blow it out. This one's pretty good and clean. See it spritzing out the bottom. Make sure you hit where it screws into, as well as the main jet, good measure. And there's also the enriching valve. It has a very small tube that's just kind of behind. A little ahead of myself. Give that bowl a little scrub. Brass brush is preferred. I got a steel one here in the video. It's not going to do too much damage to it. Spray it out, carb clean, dump it out. Make sure there's no debris in there. It's really what we're looking for. A little compressed air in the pilot jet, just for good measure. If you hold it up to the light, you should be able to see through it pretty good, like a pinhole. Blow out all your orifices, as well as I'm hitting the enriching valve right there. Don't really get a good shot of it, but I'm sure you can figure it out. And it's really not all that important. Again, hold it to the light, you should be able to see through it. Screw it back in. Not super tight here. You can break it if you go crazy tight. Carefully. Carefully. And got it. All right. Now it's time to put her back together. This piece, very important. That little notch has to go up. Upside down, no way. The gasket is going to meet up against the intake manifold, the aluminum on the bike. So basically like that. That's how you want to put it back on.